Howdy folks. I'm going to be showing you how to put back together a Dell Inspiron 14Z5423. There are videos out there that show you how to take it apart, and to put it back together you have to kind of do like a Memento, you know, that movie type thing, to get it back together. So I thought I would create this video to help you guys see the steps to do it backwards. So basically I removed all the components necessary to be able to remove the battery, and I'm going to take you step by step through putting this bad boy back together. So first thing we're going to deal with is the battery, which is this right here. And you see it's got to go into those pins over there. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and grab those two little screws that need to go in. One goes right here. I think this little screwdriver came from the dollar store or something. I don't know. It's been very handy. It's got 3 different types of things. It's got 2 Phillips head, one that's larger, one that's smaller. And it's also magnetic, which will come in handy right about now. Okay, just pause that for a second so that I could work on getting that screw in the right place. I've had this computer for 5 or 6 years, something like that. And I just noticed that this place right here, there's supposed to be a screw, I'm pretty sure. And to be honest, I don't think I have the original one that goes there. Just pause this for a second. Okay, but I've got another one that fits it just fine. Okay, battery's in. That's the first step. Now that the battery is back in, we are going to be putting the palm rest back on. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need to do is put the palm rest screws back in. And let me show you exactly where they are. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. So that's 4. Okay. Okay, confession, I'm missing that screw, but I'm not going to worry about it because I've got 3 others here. This is what happens when you have a computer that's old and it's been taken apart multiple times. There's a lot of screws that go on this computer inside and out. It's easy for them to get lost. And the next step that you're going to need to do, you're going to need to plug the palm rest cables back in, which I'll be honest requires some small motor skills. So it's just going to go back inside there and then close them. Okay, I have each of those plugged back in. Again, they're not terribly easy. I've seen some people use a very small flathead type tool to get those back in there. I was kind of afraid to do that. I didn't want to scratch anything. Maybe I didn't need to be afraid of that, but I just used my fingers. But it's not easy to do, especially if you have big fingers or fat fingers. Okay, next step, we need to get the keyboard back in here. Okay, so you look on the back of the keyboard, we have the keyboard cable, and you'll notice the part that says up right there. Okay, you're going to need to lift that flip. I admit I'm trying to hold the phone and record while I'm doing this, so this is a little tricky. I'm going to pause the video and come back when I get that in there. Okay, as you can see, I've gotten that securely in there. I'm going to turn my keyboard over and ready to go ahead and place the keyboard back into place. If you remember when you were taking your keyboard apart, you would have used a flathead screwdriver to tuck these 3 tabs in. This first one, then this one, and then this one. So when you're putting the keyboard back in, you'll just hear sort of a click on all 3 of those places. But as you can see, this is securely back onto the computer. Okay, we're done with that part. Now we need to go ahead and close this. Turn it over so that we can start putting the back of it back together. So this next part, we're going to go ahead and put all the screws back. If you notice on this Inspiron 14Z, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws to be put back. And just to be honest, the last time I took this computer apart, I lost about half of those somehow in the process. So I recommend before you even get started on taking a computer apart, get yourself organized with some little Ziploc bags or little containers, something to put the different screws for all the different things, because there's a lot of screws that go on this computer. So I only have about half of them to put back in, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I have screwed in as many screws as I could find for this thing, and I'm sure that you can buy extras for these, and I probably need to do that. Okay, the next step that you're going to do here, which I won't be able to actually show you, is putting the screw covers back on, which are those little, not sure if they're made out of silicone or plastic. They're just little black things that you put inside each of these holes. And that's another thing that I'm missing. Like I said, I've had this computer a long time and some of these parts have gone missing, so I don't have the actual screw covers to put back in here, but that would be the next step. Okay, the next thing that we're going to work on is getting the memory put back together. And what I did at the beginning is I put the 2 memory, I forgot what you call those, and there's 1 screw that goes with them that actually needs to go in first before putting the memory back in. So it's just 1 screw that goes on the right side. Let me pause as I struggle with it. Okay, suckers try to get away from you. Alright, so getting that screw in there. And what I did before I even took these memory slots out is that I actually took a picture of them while they were still in here so that I would remember the way that they go and which one is on the left and which one is on the right. And then when I took them out, I actually placed them like so, so that I would know how to get them in there. So So this is the one that goes in the right side. And if you'll remember, when you took the memory out, you had to open these clips. So you're going to have to do you're also going to have to open them to get the memory back in. And I'll need to slide that in there won't be able to record while I'm doing that. So I'll just go ahead and get that in there and then show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've got this right one in here. Remember, this little panel was up. So this had to slide in there, and then this closed down over it. Notice we don't have all the yellow showing that was there. So next I'm going to work on this slot. And you can see both of the memory pieces are securely in there. Now that the memory is back in there, we want to put the access door back on. And what I did over here when I took it out is that I actually left the screw kind of right there, so that I would not lose the screw. Notice it's got two slots on the right side there. And this, you do have to kind of push it in. And it does not go quietly, as you can see. And let's see if my screwdriver will pick up that screw. Okay. Screw that back in. Yeah, this is what happens when you're recording, but the show must go on. Okay, and one last bit that I want to show you that they recommend that you do before you take the computer apart is to remove this adapter, the SD card adapter that goes in that slot. And I removed mine probably a couple of years ago, never put it back in there, I never use it, so I didn't actually have to do that, but that is theoretically what you would do. So now this is completely put back together. I got it backwards, so I always get it backwards. So now this is completely back together. And I'd like to say thank you to Parts People, because they put out a great video showing how to get the battery out. And all I did was just take those steps and go backwards. But they did a great job showing all the steps. It is complicated to do this, but just get yourself organized to begin with, especially having a place to put all the different screws. And just set aside some time and just be patient with it, and you can do this. You got this.